Playing NCAA basketball under the bright lights at Geneva College was exactly the place Beaver Falls native DJ Damaso wanted to be. After a successful career at basketball powerhouse Blackhawk High School, Damaso was ready for his opportunity to anchor the point guard position at the collegiate level. However, Damaso's college career took a different turn following back-to-back concussions in January of 2011.
A game against Teal was a big game, so I was going up for a layup, and I got like an and-one, and I landed on my back and got whiplash real bad. And then I got up, and I didn't really say anything because it was in the heat of the moment. It was a big game, and I felt a little weird, but I didn't want to say anything because we played Bethany that Saturday, like 3 days later. So, like the same type of thing happened again. I was going up, and I think Nick Wilcox was taking a charge, and I went up, and I got kicked in the head, and I landed, and I remember getting up and my left eye was completely foggy. I couldn't see out of it, and I was real spacey, and from there I knew it was bad.
I saw the injury happen in the Teal game. It was a pretty violent hit, and he went out and he was checked by the trainers, and at the time they felt he was okay. And then just during the Bethany game, he hit his head, and you knew it was going to be bad. And when I went out to see him, because I was the first one out, he wasn't there. I mean, he was just like looking glazed over. You knew it was something serious, and then when they started checking him out, you knew it was going to be a long struggle.
If properly managed, bouncing back from one concussion may not be as difficult, but to suffer back-to-back concussions as Damaso did can be problematic.
What's going on right now, what you see in the news with concussions, it's usually the people that make the news, they've sustained at least one concussion or more, probably just like DJ did within a couple of days. They haven't fully recovered from the first concussion, they get the second concussion.
As a result of those back-to-back concussions in late January of 2011, it would essentially take a year and a half before Damaso could return to the Golden Tornadoes lineup symptom-free. And those same bright lights that he had yearned to play under at the Matheny Fieldhouse on College Hill turned out to be the last place he could be.
I was dizzy, sensitivity to lights, noises. My stomach hurt. I couldn't even go to church. That's how bad it was. Like I couldn't, any like sudden noises or bright lights, I couldn't go to. So I mean, it interfered with my whole life.
With such a high sensitivity to light and sound, doing the simplest tasks, let alone focus on a basketball hoop, became difficult. Because of his continued problems, Damaso was referred to Dr. Mickey Collins, the same physician who has cared for Pittsburgh Penguins hockey star Sidney Crosby. After Collins administered an impact test on Damaso, the long road to recovery began.
It was a long process. I tried coming back, and I still had the symptoms, and then he sent me to vision therapy, and we found out that it was my vision that was messed up. I couldn't focus from far to close, and that's what was giving me the headaches. So I went to vision therapy in Wexford, and it was like a 2-month process. I went once a week, and that ultimately was the thing that helped me the most.
While Damaso didn't know exactly how long it would be before he would be cleared again to play basketball, his desire for the game never waned.
If he had half a leg or something, he'd want to keep on playing. His desire, I've never seen it in a kid. I mean, it's important to him. I mean, he definitely has his priorities, though. And, it's God first in his life, his family, and then and his academics, and then basketball. So, I mean, he has his priorities right, but when he's on between the lines, he's all in.
Finally, on January 25th of this year, 364 days from his first concussion, Damaso made his return to the court in a Geneva uniform. His return was brief. Damaso played 12 minutes that game and only 3 more games the rest of the year, as a shoulder injury would sideline him for the remainder of the season. After a long offseason, Damaso made his complete return to the Golden Tornadoes this winter, and everyone at Geneva is excited to have him on the floor.
I'm thrilled to have him back. He will definitely help us this year. It's huge because, not saying anything last year, but you could tell we were definitely missing DJ's aggressiveness because he's a leader on the court and someone who makes us go.
Making his return this season, Damiso is granted an additional thrill, having the opportunity to play with his younger brother, Tyler. The pair both played in high school at Blackhawk, but were rarely on the floor at the same time. Now at Geneva, and both expected to see significant minutes this season, the opportunity to play with his sophomore brother is a delight.
It's awesome. I mean, in high school, he was a sophomore and I was a senior, just like now. He didn't get as many minutes as he will this year, so it's going to be fun to play with him, so I'm excited for that.
Of Geneva's 6 games this season, Damiso has played in 5 games and has started in 3 of those contests. The senior point guard is not the type of player who will lead the score sheet on a nightly basis, but instead is a feisty player that leads by hustle and defense. Despite his long absence from the basketball court due to concussions, Damiso says his style of play will remain the same.
That's been my game my whole life, so I really don't know any other way to play. So, I mean, I think it's going to be the same type of player.
He's a go-getter, and every time he dives on the floor for a ball, everybody takes a collective breath. But you can't. More injuries are caused when you're cautious than if you go hard. So that's kind of what we're telling him, and he certainly is proving that in practice.
At the height of his concussion and vision problems, some experts and specialists had told Damiso that he would never play basketball again. Damiso has not only returned to the game that he loves, but he has beaten the odds stacked against him. The scrappy point guard's will and desire to play and win will surely serve as an inspiration for the Geneva Golden Tornadoes this season.